Hey guys, so sorry, my throat's fighting a little bit, so I'm sucking on something. um, so I know if some of you are struggling, some of you may have hit stalls. It happens. It's expected. So here's kind of the formula that I would go through with someone, and so I'll just kind of take you through these, walk through them, see where you can make adjustments. Okay. So the first question, obviously, are you hitting your macros? If you're hitting them pretty on the nose, then we need to drop the calories. And you can do, so I usually start by having people drop 100, which you can drop 100 and it won't affect your hunger at all. And you can do that either by dropping, 25 grams of a carb or protein mix or 3 grams of fat. I tend to drop the fat because it's way easier to drop 3 grams of fat. That's like a little bit of butter, a little bit of oil, a leaner meat instead of fatty meat, whatever. 3 grams of fat for me is way easier to drop than 25 grams of carbs. 25 grams of carbs isn't hard either. That's like 25 grams of carbs, like an apple, a little more than an apple, piece of bread. So pretty easy to drop a little, and that usually will kickstart it. If you're not hitting your calories, obviously be more consistent and just start there. Next question, are you exercising? If you are, is it resistance training? You might be gaining muscle. So the scale's going to move slower, right? That's like me right now. The scale's not moving a lot for me, but I'm resistance training pretty heavily. And so I don't expect big losses for me right now. I expect 1 to 2 pounds a week when I'm, not really cutting hard. If you aren't exercising, start. And you can start with just walking. I know it's hard right now with the weather. Well, it's been beautiful until today, but I have a walking pad at home that I love, and I'll use it with weighted backpack on while I watch a movie or something. I can easily get 5,000-6,000 steps while I watch a movie. It doesn't feel like too much work. Maybe I'll take my weighted backpack off halfway through, but easily add some steps. That's going to boost the metabolism. It's going to decrease cortisol. That's what we want to do. Okay. Here's some other things you can look at. Are you doing the fasting days? There's a reason they're in there. Make sure you're doing them, including the prep days. Okay, so if you're not doing those, you can start doing that. Are you having more than one off-plan meal per week? Those off-plan meals very quickly can add up, especially if it's whole day, like Super Bowl yesterday. What I did, I saved my off-meal plan until Sunday, and I ate whatever I wanted with the Super Bowl. And, I wasn't hungry. Luckily, we didn't have a ton of food. But, I ate pizza. I had some cookies that my boy made, I just ate whatever. And today I woke up half pound up from yesterday. Great. That'll be gone by tonight. I'm not worried about it. So I'll make sure we're only doing that once per week. Again, remember, the idea of this is to be rapid. Being strict. And, I told you guys at the start 8 weeks, but I'm going to keep working with you until we get you squared away. So don't worry about that. But let's get back on track if you're falling off track here. Are you getting enough sleep? Sleep is huge for weight loss. We know for sure that people who don't sleep as much tend to be more overweight. That's very, very established. And so enough sleep for most people is 7 to 8 hours. With kids it's hard. I had a kid in my bed 2 nights ago. I got about 5 hours of sleep. That's how it goes sometimes, but consistently you need to be getting 7 8 hours. And if you're having troubles with sleep, then that's something we can address. Let me know. I work with sleep issues all the time. Are you staying hydrated? Hydration is huge, and it doesn't just mean water. Obviously, electrolytes as well. Making sure we're getting the good quality salt, potassium, things like that. Good source of potassium would be like sweet potatoes, peppers, things like that. Bananas are okay. So making sure you're hydrated is huge. You don't have to drink 100 ounces a day, but make sure you're getting. If you're not eating a lot of fruit, which right now it's hard because there's not a lot of good fruit right now, then you need to be drinking more water this time of year. And then in the summer, when we can eat more fruit, I drink way less water than I do right now. Next one, are your stress levels really high? If it's yes, do what you can to reduce that. If you can, we can't always reduce our stress. So one thing to do, what stress does, again, raises cortisol. A lot of what we're talking about here is all about cortisol. So one thing you do to get those cortisol levels dropping is make sure to get your carbs in the morning. Cortisol is highest in the morning. That's when it should be the highest. carbs push cortisol down because they raise insulin. And don't be afraid of insulin, but they counteract each other. When cortisol's high, insulin should be low, and we'll be more insulin resistant. When insulin goes up, cortisol goes down. We get more insulin sensitive. That's what we want. Obviously there's the whole thing about if insulin stays high too long, but we're not worried about that. So make sure to get your carbs in the morning. Like first thing in the morning, if you eat even 50 grams of carbs, it drops your cortisol quite a bit. So if we're stressed, we need to make sure we're eating well. Now here's some things you can do to break through a stall. If you go through all these and yes, I'm good, and we're still stalled out. Again, the one thing that I would say is, okay, drop your calories. But other than that, what am I going to do? So like I said, I'm not in a huge cut right now, but I'm trying to cut quicker. So I'm doing a juice smoothie fast for the next 3 days. In those 3 days, I will lose probably 5 pounds. It's not all going to be fat. And then when I start eating again on Thursday or Friday, I'm going to gain 2 or 3 of it back. But I just moved the scale down 2 pounds, 3 pounds. As long as I stick with the plan after that, those 2-3 pounds aren't coming back. Okay, so I use these strategically when I need to break through stalls for myself. I've been stuck at a little spot for a little while where it's really not moving as much as I'd like. So that's what I'm going to do. For those who don't like juice smoothie stuff, I find smoothie fasting very easy. That's why I'm going to do smoothie this time. I'll drink some juice too, but I don't feel like messing with my juicer every day right now. So I'm going to do smoothies. It's a lot quicker, easier. Throw that spinach and mango and strawberry in there, and I'm good to go for the day. I only have to do it once. Another option is a fat fast. Fat fast is like the exact opposite. And for some people, this works better. And that's why you can play around with it. What a fat fast would look like. I ideally, and this sounds gross, you would just drink cream, or whip up a bunch of cream, and you just for your meal, you would eat cream, whipped cream, with no sweetener. I mean, you could put some allulose. I think allulose wouldn't be a problem. Monk fruit maybe not be a problem. I wouldn't use stevia or any other sweetener. There's reasons why I wouldn't use stevia on this. Stevia is fine in general, but for this I wouldn't use it. But yeah, then you just eat whipped cream until you're full, but real whipped cream, and you'd be shocked at how quickly it'll hit you like a load of bricks, where it's just I am done. I cannot eat anymore. I've done heavy cream fast a few times, and I lose 6-8 pounds anytime I do it, for 3-4 days. I just don't feel great. I don't feel as good as when I do a smoothie fast, but some people feel better on a fat fast. I don't have a gallbladder, so I think that's a big part of it. I don't do as well on heavy fat, but it works really well. The other option would be a sardine fast. If you like sardines, I've seen people lose 12-15 pounds in 3 days on sardine fast. It's wild. And all they do is just every time you're hungry, you eat a can of sardines or 2. And not everyone likes sardines. I don't mind them. I've done it. Again, it's similar to when I've done the heavy cream one. The heavy cream one's easier. I just don't feel as well. And so I choose to do smoothies. And I do eat sometimes on my smoothie fast. I will say that. Sometimes I'll eat some fruit if I'm a little hungry. But for the most part, I try to stay liquid. I just do better that way. I'll lose more weight that way. Especially if I'm doing a lot of spinach, or if I throw some parsley juice in this thing, then I'll really shed some weight. Parsley really seems to clear me out, which is nice. So that's actually another thing you can do is a parsley tea. You just take a bunch of parsley and you steep it in hot water for 10 minutes, and then you just drink that throughout the day, a quart of it. It's a lot, and it'll flush you out. Be near your bathroom, because you'll be going to the bathroom often. But it works really well. The other thing, obviously, would be the water fast for longer periods. I don't do these personally as often anymore. Occasionally, I'll do a 3-day fast, but I do so well in the juice and smoothies that I just keep doing it, and my blood sugar stays stable, so I don't worry about it. For people with blood sugar issues, a water fast might be more beneficial. But the other thing we'd want to do is, if we're doing all these things and things just aren't working, then we may need to look at the hormones. Is your thyroid sluggish? Is, what part of the cycle are you in for the women? That'll affect it, obviously. But thyroid's huge. So many people are low thyroid, and so I work with thyroid a lot in my clinic, and so if we're thinking this is something, then that's something we could look at separately. So hope this is helpful. If you have any questions on this, just hit me up. Like I said, I'm working with you guys until we get you where you want to be. So I'm not worried that there's only 2 weeks left in the 8 weeks, whatever, because some of you haven't really found your stride yet. So I'm just going to work with you until you do. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Have a good week.